Hey guys, it's me again, Orc Slayer What Ifs. Where aren't you last left off? Let's see you checking. So, Deku in the beginning of the last episode was talking to Aizawa about how they dealt with the hero killer. Then we moved forward to where Deku was going out to eat and ran into Momo and her family. So they sat down, had dinner, and in the middle of dinner, they saw Hanayama Karu, and Deku went up and said hello to a friend, you could say. As Momo's family were like, what the hell? And then when Deku met, I believe it's whatever his goddamn name is, Takugawa, the hoster of the underground fighting tournament that takes place in the second season of Baki. And Deku has been offered a position in it. So, with that being said, Deku and Bakio talked for a little bit, as then when the time came around, people found out who Deku's dad, or at least what was Deku's dad's name, which is Yujiro Hanma, as he states plainly, and Recovery Girl has a little, damn it, as All Might told, as I'm pretty sure I said that, Yujiro told All Might his name when he beat him, as then All Might, actually looked it up. I couldn't find anything about it. He saw, a few reports of, from reporters and such who, reportedly met a really strong man who is, crazy strong, even without a quirk. But to fix the fight, what happened is that when All Might was looking through these questions, a government agent's like, "Excuse me, Mr. All Might." It's like, "Who are you?" He's like, I am Captain Strider." As he takes a gulp. "I wish to apologize for what happened to you due to..." I didn't say this, but I'm giving you a example, how All Might saw him, or figured out who Yujiro is. As he's like, "I'm sorry for what happened to you, the Yujiro Hanma, sir." He's like, "You know him?" He's like, "He's works for the I believe Captain Stridum's American. I believe so. As it's been a while since I watched it, so yeah." He's like, "Mr. Yujiro Hanma works for the U.S. government. We believe him to be the strongest creature on the planet." As Yujiro's like, well, not Yujiro, but All Might's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "We believed he was far superior than you, for a time at least. Then, or before that, we thought you two were equals." Mr. Yujiro tried to put that to the test, and we are sorry for what had happened to you. As Stridum's bowing his head, as Yujiro says, "So, you think what?" As he's like, "That's all, sir. We would tell you more information about him, but Mr. Yujiro requested that we didn't." As he walks out, as we get back to the part where Deku is just got really angry at a Biscuit Olivia. As Biscuit Olivia says, "Come on, Deku, let's see what you got." So, with that being said, Deku comes rushing at Olivia, throwing several punches in a row, as Olivia just stands there as he takes the punch after punch. As Olivia says, "This actually kinda hurts, but still." As he just stands there, as he's pushed back a little bit and by a little bit, with the punches being thrown over and over and over and over again. Until eventually, he grabs Deku's fist, as Deku's like, "What the?" As he's like, "You're strong, Deku, but it seems like your power isn't complete yet." As not Yujiro, but Olivia takes it and sort of goes for an underhanded punch, as he has Deku's other hand, as he punches him right in the gut, as Deku goes, as he's thrown away, as Deku goes flying, as he hits the corner of a building and lands on top of a little walk area above a road. Deku's like, "Oh God." damn, what is that man made of? As Bakugo comes in with a flashbang, as Olivia's like, what the? As he like grabs his face and sort of does a wide swing, as she blasts herself backwards, as then she uses multiple AP shot, or rapid AP shot, as she aims all over his body, as his muscles are able to absorb, like, do get penetrated and cut and such, but they aren't extreme damage, as Bakugo says, like, damn it. Alright, 100% AP shot, as she blasts straight through his arm. He's like, as he, like, sort of checks it, he's like, oh, this is bad. As he, like, jumps out of the way, Bakugo's like, eat that, Olivia! As she's blasting, as she puts her gauntlets together, as she blasts herself back, as Deku's getting up, he's like, damn it. As he feels it up, as everyone's like, man, Deku, I've never seen Deku that much hurt before. As they see Deku, as he, like, gets up, he's like, as he throws up. As he's like, oh god, I kind of regret eating. As I'm like, what the heck? You're saying this guy... Oh my god. So, Deku's having trouble against this guy without using his quirk. And you said... Using one of his quirks. And you said, his father's even stronger than this guy? As Recovery Girl's like, supposedly, yes. As I'm like, Jesus, Deku's the son of a monster. As Deku gets back up, he's like, alright. As he jumps down from the bridge and starts rushing off after, like, Bakugo and Olivia. As with Olivia... what Olivia did is that he jumps up and punches a building. As it starts to topple over, Bakugo's like, not a chance. As she blasts away the building apart. As Olivia comes through the rubble, he's like, smart! As he's like, haha! As he smashes downward, as she just barely dodges using her explosion, he cracks the earth majorly underneath him, almost to a point of causing an earthquake. As Deku says, well, shit. As he rushes forward, like zigzagging, he sort of goes for like a roundhouse kick, as then he grabs Olivia by the arm, as then he sort of throws him to the ground and tries to put him into a submission hold. But what Olivia does is that since he is stronger than Deku in most areas at the moment, he sort of just starts flexing. He starts moving his arms, like, so that way, as he uses one arm to pick himself up, as Deku's like, what the hell? As Deku is picked up, and then sort of, as he, like, had him in a headlock, Olivia just jumps up and then just falls downward, trying to do like a suplex or something similar to Deku. As they crash into the ground, Deku's like, oh, shit. As Olivia's like, shouldn't have underestimated you, even when you're weakened. As he gets his foot and sort of smashes down, as Deku's trying to get up, he's like able to flip over. He smashes down on Deku's chest, as Deku's like, damn it. As Deku then sees one chance, as he's like, alright then. As he sort of uses his lower body, as he forces it up. As he sort of kicks Olivia right in the bait, like around the butt area, essentially. It's like ass. As he kicks him really hard there, as Olivia is sent off him, as Olivia is sent through a wall. Bakugo's like, damn it. Damn, this guy really hurts, and we're not as fast as we are typically. Deku says, yeah, this is much better. As he lets off a smile, she's like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, I very rarely get to go actually struggle in fights, even if I must be severely weakened. This is still better. As he sort of focuses even more, as that little limit button has been pushed to 100% of All Might's power. as Deku rushes forward, clocking Olivia right in the nose. As Olivia feels a little in his nose, he's like, As Deku then goes for a chop around Olivia's left wrist. Then he goes for sort of a palm strike to his right side. As Deku just keeps on doing a randomized assortment of blows. He does palm strikes, karate chops, like either poking him in some cases, or even just straight out punching him. He's trying to randomize, like seeing which attacks are most effective. Even at one point doing this, as he gets like the 100%, as then everyone just hears on the monitors, then like as an explosion of like air pressure just blows out. Everyone's like, what the shit? As it's like, it's a super clap. As with that thing, it's like sort of went through a building. As Bakugo's like, jeez. As Olivia's like, ow. It's like, Olivia actually goes hopping a little bit. He's like, that stings, son of a god. And Deku's like, oh, well, it worked. As then he goes to backhand him. As in, Olivia just grabs him by the arm. As then he grabs him by the back of the neck, throwing Deku face first through a wall. As there's a lot of going through walls. Bakugo's like, here, have this. As she blasts Olivia straight up into the air like a rocket ship. As then Olivia comes straight back down like a meteor. Crashing into the earth like a meteor he is. Deku and Bakugo take a step back to analyze the situation, as Olivia has taken quite a bit of damage, but so has the two of them. As they're like, Bakugo, we need to bring him down. But how, Deku? He's tougher than both of us. He's tougher than you, the moment, and typically you'd overwhelm them and hold them while I blasted them to bits. He's like, what's stopping you from holding back now? Is like, this is a hero exercise. We should be able to apprehend them with causing the least amount of damage to the city. Deku's like, alright then. As he's like, as he's focusing, as he rushes forward, as I believe he's at 100% now. I believe I boosted him up through this fight by a little bit. As he's 100%, he grapples with Olivia, as he is weaker, but it'll take a bit of time for that to take effect. As he's able to lock him, he's like, alright, Bakugo, the buildings behind us are destroyed. Hit us with the strongest one you got. As she does the howitzer impact, or the atomic blast, as she calls it now, as slag. As Deku is like, as Biscuit, Olivia, and Deku are both standing there, Deku's like, as he quickly flips open the cuffs, as he slaps them on Olivia, as it's like, as he's like, now that's how you get a win. As Deku falls over, as Olivia's just on one knee, as he's like, as I expected from the son of Ogar. God, this sucks. As he says this, he's like, well, at least this is over. As he straightens himself back up to ensure that he doesn't as he's like, you two passed. Well done. So, with that, my nose is kind of stuffy, so sorry if you guys notice that or understand that. What happens is that, they make their way out, as Deku's, helped up by, as they, take his weights off him, as, when Olivia picked them up, he's like, oh, these are kind of heavy. I should probably order some to actually train with. As Deku's like, I do that every day. As he has broken a few ribs and maybe broken an arm or so. So with that, they go along with Olivia and return to Recovery Girl as they take a few days off. As I believe after this is the whole, not UA, but I Island. With I Island, there really isn't anything to say about it. Deku pretty much, well, you know what? I'll give an explanation. So, since Deku and Bakugo both tied for winning the sports festival, what happens is that they're both offered tickets. But on that same day, what happened is that Bakugo herself was offered to go along with All Might. So she pretty much just gave Deku the extra ticket to bring along an extra person. And with that, he's like, okay, who to bring? And since Momo, Uraraka, and Jiro are out, then there's Kaminari and Mineta. Well, Mineta isn't in the class, so yeah. So with all that, Mineta isn't in the class, since I typically have Aizawa not bluff and he gets kicked out. But there's Ida, so I guess he'll just bring along Kirishima as Bakugo did in the anime. So with that, what happens is that since Deku brings Bakugo, similar things transpire with as Deku, when it came to that whole thing, what happened with the testing thing, Bakugo instead was pretty much saddled with Melissa, as Bakugo had to listen to her prattle on about inventions, All Might, and all that. She's like, All Might really? As she's like, oh, am I boring you? Bakugo's like, no, it's just that you talk a lot about All Might. She's like, oh, sorry, it's just a habit. Sorry about that, but she goes on to say that All Might was her favorite person in the world, and that what it is that All Might and her dad have known each other for decades, so it sort of became a natural thing to become interested in my uncle's work and such, as she's rubbing the back of her head. Bakugo's like, okay, it's weird, but it is what it is. As she goes on to state that, that guy you fought in the sports festival, I watched it. Who was he? She's like, oh, Deku. Yeah, you guys destroyed the entire island. That was crazy. If you two were to fight here, you would destroy half the island, I bet. But still, it was insane how much you two fought. And I bet you guys have just gotten even stronger since then, as Bakugo's being bombarded with question after question after question. And then they're going through these support gear and such, and Deku, well, not Deku, but Momo runs into Bakugo with Uraraka and Jiro saying, oh, Bakugo, hey. It's like, oh, hey guys, what are you guys doing here? He's like, oh, nothing much, we actually got invited by Momo. Sorry. We got invited by Momo. It's like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. He came along because she's offered us the ability to. What are you doing here? I got offered by All Might to tag along. She's like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. Deku could have tagged along, so I don't know why All Might invited me, but I guess they're like, you think you'd invite Deku, seeing that he has the most potential in him. Or they're most similar. It's like, yeah, well, maybe Deku convinced him to take me along so I could learn from All Might to not be as hot-headed as I am sometimes. It's like, yeah, maybe. I can't. She's like, I don't think that. Deku seems to like your hot-headedness at times. It's like, wait, really? He's like, yep. Well, as they go on, they hear a massive, a shockwave. As in, Deku has just cleared the thing, as he's like, what record is that? It's like, a new record! Less than a second! As Deku powered up fully, as he just blitzed through the entire thing, getting it clear. As Bakugo's like, alright, I want to try, as she just destroys the entire thing within points, like the exact same time Deku did. As Bakugo's like, ha, eat it, eat it, Deku. He's like, oh, no thanks. He's like, no thanks. I could still beat my score. As he's able to shave off a couple of a second. As he gets down to an equal score as her. Then Todoroki comes along and freezes the entire thing. But Deku and them all like talk over lunch. As Deku's like, it's like, what's wrong, Deku? He's like, these chairs are stupid. They are not meant for giant people. As when he's sitting in this, it looks like a chair for a child. And as Deku's like, don't they have anything bigger? He's like, you can always, sit crisscross applesauce on the ground. He's like, alright then, sorry about saying crisscross applesauce. I just imagine that every time I just think about crisscross applesauce. I don't know why. But what is that Deku and such, as they're talking, they run to Kaminari and such. As with dealing with this, how it typically goes. As I was saying, sorry, I got a last train of thought. As they run to Ida. But they go on and on dealing with this, as David and All Might still have their little checkup. When it comes to Deku, though, he's still does the whole, as they go to the thing, as when everyone's waiting for Deku and Bakugo show up at the same time. As Melissa and everyone else are like, damn, look at the two of them. As Deku arrives in a nice, sharp tuxedo, as the one he wore on the same night with Bakugo in them. As Bakugo wore something similar. As with that being said, they still have that whole lockdown scenario happen. As they still bash their way up. As Deku says, Bakugo and I could just walk out of this and jump all the way up there to deal with the thing. It's like, wait, really? It's like, yep, alright, Bakugo, you ready? It's like, yeah. As Bakugo blast up with Deku picking up Melissa, princess style, to make sure she doesn't, fall off. They reach to their point of progress almost very soon, insane, crazy fast. As Deku used, sort of stomp downward, creating a shockwave, setting up when he, need to go even higher. But, yeah, that's how that worked. As they make their way to the thing, as they immediately shut it down instead of having to wait a little bit of time. As they go with this, everyone is still, safe and sound down there, as when David, Shield, and such get up there after, a little bit of time, the villains are like, what? What happened? As she's like, we're locked out of the systems, boss. There's nothing we can do. As it's like, damn it. Gotta have to accelerate the process. So, as they deal with that, what happens is that Deku and them do, well, just that. They don't allow them to speed up the process and such. And as they deal with that, the villains eventually caught up there and get knocked the hell out. Sorry you have to hear that. But, that's how it plays out. And the villains are all captured and such with no real injuries to anyone. David still has the daunting thing of, you will lose the sunlight. As, unbeknownst to them with their backs turned, David did grab the whole thing, as he was held at gunpoint, and Deku, if he made any sudden movements, Deku could probably have blitzed them, but he didn't want to take the chance, as the gun was pointed at Melissa and David. So as Deku, just sort of stood there, as when the guy looked away for a split second, Deku got there in that split second and punched him, sending the guy into, the wall near the entrance where they got the hero item. As then, when that happened, the guy grabbed the crown and strapped it on himself, as he does in the anime, causing the whole building to go insane. With Deku and such like that, they're like, damn it. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a busy day. Ain't it? Oh. As he lets out that like little yawn battle cry, as it's like, Deku, don't worry, we'll be able to relax in a little bit. He's like, I freaking doubt that. Every time we almost get time to relax, we get fucked over like this. As he just starts rushing forward, as he's pissed, as he bashes through one of the things, as he breaks that like little metal thing that was coming straight at him, it shatters into like red bits as it does in the anime, with Bakugo blowing them apart. As for everyone who was watching this, like Melissa or David, or even like his little assistant, they see them as these two heroes just bash and blow their way through, as eventually they get to the point as they sort of do the whole super punch, as Deku goes, Nephilim's guidance. And then Bakugo's like, Atomic's fury. As they do a massive explosion, resulting in another mushroom cloud. Now, with that and such over and done with, I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the short video, but anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed this. Hope you all continue to enjoy this, and I hope you all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.